Hi guys, I think we're now just going to do our predictions for our teams to be relegated this season. Okay, which is always exciting to do. I mean, it'll be easy to sort of say the three teams that came up will be the same teams that go down. But I think this season's a little bit different. I think Wolves, after having a little bit of a struggle last season for the best part, they looked quite ropey. And I think they're going to be my shout this year to possibly go down. I don't like to see that because they're a great team. It's a great city, great players. And I just love their way of playing football. So I think, for me, Wolves will definitely go down. I think Sunderland will go down, even though they've got off to a really great start. But I think this league's very, very tough and hard. And it will catch up with them eventually. And of course, Burnley, because, you could be great defensively in the Championship and sort of get away with games. I think in the Premier League you get punished. I think them conceding, was it 3 or 4 goals in the first game? I think it took them almost best part of the season to sort of concede that many goals. And they've done it in game week 1. So I think for me, I think they'll definitely finish last with the most goals conceded. Then Sunderland, and then unfortunately Wolves, I think will slip into it again. Yeah, that's my 3 to go down.
Yeah, no, it's a great shout. I've spoken about Wolves. I think losing Cunha is massive. Losing Cunha and losing Ayanori is massive as well. Yeah, they were in a relegation scrap for most of the season last season as well. I'm leaning on 2 controversial ones, and it's quite bad that they're both based in London. I'm gonna
Spurs?
No, it could be Spurs. It could be Spurs. But I'm going to go with something a bit controversial here. And I know there's a lot of ex-Liverpool players there because I do want them to do well. But I think Brentford might slip into a relegation fight. I think, as much as I've said, I think hiring internally might be a good shout. Do you know what I mean? But there could be so much disruption in that club. I think they could easily go down in that regard. So I'm going to go for Brentford and Wolves to go down. I think this could be a really interesting Premier League season where 2 big boys go down, because I agree with you with the Sunderland thing, but I think Sunderland will still nick a few good points here and there. Do you know what I mean? Wolves already look like they're struggling. So I'm going to go Brentford, Wolves and Burnley. We've mentioned Burnley and the defensive units from last season, but you had a hell of a goalkeeper in the stakes. Trafford's obviously gone back to Man City, so they've lost that as well. Scott Parker's a great manager. He always looks rather dapper as well. I'll give him that. He's a very classy man, but I just think he's not got a good enough squad to keep in the Premier League. So I've gone for a bit of a controversial one. I've gone for Brentford, Wolves and Burnley to be relegated.
There you go. So both of us predict Wolves and Burnley for sure. But yeah, and then Brentford play Liverpool in the last game of the season. So it could be a good farewell to the Liverpool players. Might be
gone down by then. I'm sorry for the Brentford fans out there, but I think it's going to be a really interesting season. I think so many things could happen. There's so many twists and turns to be happened. With that in mind as well, obviously we were thinking about who's going to be perhaps the first manager to be sacked. Right? My guess is I'm going to go with
Potter.
Potter could be easily up there, definitely. Like I did say, obviously another London club I thought that could be relegated. I thought West Ham could get stuck in there as well. They could get sucked down. I think if they don't start ringing some results together, it gets really difficult. But Potter's a great shout, but I'm going to go for one that's a bit more relevant than news. I reckon Nuno's out the door soon. I think Nuno's going to perhaps just say, you know what, I'm out. I think he might go by mutual consent. I don't think it's going to be a results thing. I think perhaps we all know that the owner of Nottingham Forest is quite what's the word I'm looking for? A bit crazy. I think we've heard
you
about.
You want to mess with him.
We've heard about his antics at even Olympiacos. He's famously obviously gone into the pitch last season. One thing I do like about him, he did ban Gary Neville from the ground. I think a lot of grounds should do that. But with that in mind, I think something's got to give there. So I'm going to go for first manager of the season to get sacked as Nuno.
And for me, it's Graham Potter. Unfortunately, I think he's just not going to be given the time. I think if tonight's result, which they're playing Chelsea, if that goes against him, I think it's really going to put him up against it. And I think he's just not going to have a settled team. I think just the way he plays, I don't think he's got the players there at the moment that can play to that style. I mean, he was great at Brighton and he had such a kind of free-flowing, football happening there with, your Casados and your McAllisters, pulling the strings in the middle. I just don't think he has those sort of players.
No.
But then by you saying, Nunes might leave by mutual consent, does that mean he could, if Wolves sack their manager by Christmas, end up back at Wolves? And
oh, that'd be fascinating.
I mean, that's some great.
I was going to go back to yours. I think potentially West Ham would go for him. I think, do you know what I mean? I think if they sacked Potter and Nuno's available, why not? Do you know what I mean? I think Wolves. It's a weird one because I've mentioned Brentford as one of my relegation candidates. I don't think they'll sack the manager though. I think they'll stick with him. I think they want to give him time. I don't think Brentford are that sort of club to go, you know what, all right, let's panic and do something here. Do you know what I mean? Because keeping that in mind, I can't think of a few managers out there who are available for a lot of these clubs to pick up. Wolves did, you can say, quite well with obviously their hiring of their manager. He obviously came up and in the end even got above United in the end. Remember, they were right in the scrap there. But I think the games and all the sort of over the time, I think they will potentially struggle. With that in mind, once one manager goes, people start thinking, should we go for him? Should we get him? So we might even see an internal Mario go around in the Premier League this season. So to that point, perhaps Nuno goes to West Ham, and then
or Wolves.
Oh, that could easily happen.
Well, he might go to a team beginning with W. So
he's obviously got the love there for Wolves. Yeah, he's got a lot, and obviously they've still got that very high contingency of like Portuguese players because obviously he did that whole bring up with them to the Championship with that core contingency of Portuguese players. João Neves, obviously Jota was under there as well. So that could easily happen. There's probably some other managers out there as well that could potentially get a shout, but I think it's just the way the Premier League is nowadays. So many managers are under pressure. You don't get a few results going in the beginning. I think the only thing going back to West Ham though, I saw a great interview on TalkSport with the vice president of West Ham. She backs him. She thinks he's a great character, but you could be
Karen Brady.
Yes, that's correct. Karen Brady. She's obviously backing him. So she's really highly of him, but a good guy doesn't always win, I guess.
No.
So that was our predictions of teams to go down, and obviously our predictions for the first manager to be sacked. Guys, it's Lax, it's Ish from the Subs podcast, where the subs have their say. Like, comment, subscribe, and give us your thoughts in the comment section below.